Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Bayonetta. So it turns out, way back in Chapter 9, when we adjusted the graphics to see if that would fix anything, I never turned this back up. So the SSAO setting has been, since then, turned off. Does it... In the realistic perspective, it doesn't really matter. Like, this is a 9-year-old game. It came out in 2009, so, well, 8-year-old game then. Having these settings are nice, but they're almost just crammed into the game. They can certainly do some smoothing and some blurring to make things look like they're at a higher resolution, but at the end of the day, whatever the original renders were at, whether it was 1080p or 720p, you can't get graphics better than that. One great example is there's this fan project to update Resident Evil 4's graphics to higher textures, and the only way you can really do it is for them to redraw everything from scratch, and that's what they're doing. Which is really sad because they'll probably get a cease and desist by the time they're just about finished. It turns out you can cancel angel attacks too, so if we do an angel attack with just a few bullets at the end of this chapter, I'm just gonna hit cancel and see what it does. She just hands
It's okay, little one. I'll be right back.
Just holds her daughter by the scarf of her neck. I said last recording, and I'm sticking by my opinion, that we're probably just gonna get a bunch of boss fights. I know there is a section we're gonna do. So, I think there's a bloodstained creature on the water like this.
Ooh. Another talkative type. I don't think I've got time to entertain your blather. I'd much rather hear it straight from your boss.
It's hard to read the screen with so many subtitles. So, in case you didn't get that, 500 years ago they tried to resurrect their god Jebulus, and in the effort they failed. This is quite a boss to fight. Interesting. See, I don't even know what I'm aiming for. I think I'm supposed to be aiming for these faces. Ah, here we go. So I have to destroy the 4 arms. And this is more machine than what we've really been paying attention or seeing on other angels. But every one of these faces is just a hideous monster behind it. It's visually metaphorical. This is a nice, easy section for them to program too. All they have to do is have a giant monster and not anything else because you're on water. Now this time for one climax attack. I bet not all of them though. A giant spider. And he's gonna try and run away. So we're gonna steer him towards it, and tap X to drag him and counter. And see, I'm dodging, but I'm not really getting witch time. I guess getting witch time right then wouldn't really help anyways. Oh, I did buy an item, by the way. I guess it would make sense to potentially equip that. So I did some more damage to him. And we're just gonna tap the X and try to put him in the right direction. Let's come over here and actually equip this. Up to 2 items can be equipped. Well, okay, so I would either have to decide to remove the immortal marionette or do something else. Let's see. There we go, another Ember and Tears of Blood thing. We'll go ahead and make another one of these while we're wasting time. We're right in the middle of a fight. We should be focusing on the fight instead of... And see, I hit one of the faces, and I have this feeling like it's really a... I'm just messing up. And I I possibly should have been finished by now. Or maybe I have to do a couple of climax attacks because this character is so big. So there we had an instant start of witch time, which I suspect are probably getting triggered by the item I just equipped. I like the music playing. It's different. It's potentially a little too loud, a little too orchestral for this section, but it's alright. I might have tried something different. A little bit more subtle. Of course, expecting this game to be subtle is ridiculous. Oh, I just haven't been doing this right. At all. The counter hasn't worked once before. So now that I've broken the face, I can, I think, destroy the rest of the health of this angel. Feels like he would have wanted to animate him to attack from 2 different angles, but whatever. A lot of mechanical, took some damage there. a lot of mechanical things in this angel's outfit. It's almost as if on the higher orders they're becoming more machine than creature. Here we go, let's try this. I'm glad it's not animating the setup, because if it was animating the setup for all of this, and see, I messed up the counter there. Yeah, but the health bars certainly could use an improvement. So I could tell you exactly how many health bars are left. For all I know, there's 2 more or 20 more. And clearly they want me to get this to succeed. And it's not actually directing, it's just doing the QuickTime events that are on the screen. And when you see that counter, you've got to hit it quickly. And this is that Nintendo do it 3 times function. So there goes his wings, which I think is probably necessary. See, I don't know if I'm even controlling things right now or not. I've got to be careful. He's lasering me and shooting missiles at me. And my new assistive setup is not really doing much. So he's created a water tunnel that now we're doing some laser dodging. I think I'm going the wrong way. I guess I'm supposed to go forward towards danger, not away. Yes, this makes more sense. So I thought it was pulling me in. This is another clear example. We're about to win, but it's another clear example of kind of needing to have played the game once before. And frankly, you kind of need to play each chapter once before, just so you're reminded what the goal right now is to be. Here we go. Will we get a new demon, or will it just be the spider again? Probably the spider again. That's fine, we didn't need 2 of them. And see, now he just looks like one of those, now spiders and, yeah, just spiders are tearing them apart. So that giant monster was nothing on the scale of this giant monster that I just summoned. So I'm getting more and more powerful.
I have no idea why you would want this stone. It would look absolutely terrible on you. Much too flashy.
this Karababunza.
So apparently the stone that she has on her necklace is not what they're looking for. It was a misdirect.
Welcome aboard, Cheshire.
Oh, fucking hell!
Mummy!
I told you I'd be right back. Shouldn't you be, you know, flying this thing? I'm a bit occupied at the moment.
Mummy! Mummy!
Well, so much for the subtle approach. We might as well have speakers on this thing blaring Ride of the fucking Valkyries.
Come now, we're VIPs. You know, nothing says you've made it in life like a private helicopter.
Then welcome aboard Air Luca, Flight 001. This is your captain, Luca, speaking. Fasten your safety belts, as this may be a bumpy flight.
It's interesting and worth pointing out that if this was a Western game, they would have most definitely mentioned him cussing twice in front of the logo. But when you translate from Japanese to English, there really is only one cuss word in the Japanese language that if you just say it regardless of how you say it, it's a cuss word. And everything else is how you say it. So the intonation of it. So this often becomes an issue when you translate from Japanese to English, where if the English translator wants to put a cuss word in there, they can put a cuss word in there. And if they don't want to put a cuss word in there, they could do the same, because there is no real darn in Japanese, or there's just damn. And so you can say damn and have it sound like you're saying it and really meaning it into the Japanese language, or you can say it like somebody would say darn. And it just is up to the translators. But also, I think it's kind of cool to write a story like this and just subvert the expectations of a game, of a story. Stories in general have some just normalities that are enforced upon them, and it's nice to see when those normalities are thrown out the window and you can just have an artist tell a different kind of tale. So I took a lot of damage there, that's why I got silver, but I also got 25,000 bonus for beating the boss. So I don't have that many. I'm just gonna hit cancel, and if I hit cancel, then I would exchange it for 1,800 halos. That's not a very good return. It's not a very good return at all. So you shouldn't cancel. Like, right there, in comparison, 58,000, if I just exchange this, that is a much better deal. And I'll do that. And so now I'm up to 50,000 halos, which means I could buy one more item, potentially, by the end of the game. Hopefully. There's actually a decent amount, if I'm remembering correctly, still available. I'm not sure there are any collectibles. Like, how would I have found any parts of a Angel LP in that part of the game? Not possible unless they're just floating on the ocean somewhere. And if they weren't breaking this up in chapters, we wouldn't realize how awkward the game actually is. I guess that is the one argument for the open world style of gameplay that has become more and more prevalent in video games. If you were to give me just an open world and then make me run from one point on the open world map to another point to start each chapter, it would connect the story and feel like there's more gameplay there, even if there really isn't. And frankly, if they had done an open world, then they could have had angels randomly appearing in between chapters for grinding, which may have made the game a little bit nicer too. But then it gets in the way of the speed aspect that they're going for, because they do want this to be a speedy experience, like you ran from the beginning of the game to the end.
You're really not going to like what comes next. I hope you know that.
Don't tell me. Air Cheshire has awful in-flight entertainment and horrendous food.
Does she have stuff on the bottom of her shoes?
Think about
I think she does.
Those things that downed the jet aren't just going to let us land on their island.
She's still dripping wet.
Hey, we're here! And they'll bring us a cake?
I think she has some
Look good from
symbols
up here.
on the bottom of her shoe.
But the further down you go, the harder it is to not notice the reality of things.
Cheshire, look.
Oh, I'm looking.
Again, probably not appropriate for a kid to be in this scene.
Oh, fuck me.
And again he cusses. What's interesting is these aren't angel missiles. These are Vigrid missiles.
My fantasy zone.
Get ready.
So, the game decided to change again on us, so we're going to move. You can evade with the left trigger and right trigger, and we can fire a missile with A or B, and we can fire guns with X or Y. That's an interesting setup. And see, this is a reference to another game. They made entire sections that were references to other games. We also saw this in Darksiders 2, but I mean, Darksiders also, the first Darksiders game. But in that section it wasn't as long and there was a lot more gameplay to go on. So this is a 3D version. I don't know the name of this game that it's emulating, but it's kind of like a 3D version of Asteroids. Things are going to come in waves and you're going to try to line up and hit them all, and they're going to try and attack. And you're just... Here we can hear Ceresa's yeah, we spin anytime we evade. The idea is to hit everything, but things are moving rather fast. There's no speed up or slow down this time. I seriously doubt the game would work well if this was what the gameplay was. Honestly. In the same way, I don't think the game really would have worked well if it was the motorcycle sequence either. These levels in particular feel like where budget could have been saved. You see, I'm not dodging fast enough, so my item is dodging for me. And now we're entering a boss section. So let's shoot a missile at him. Every time I shoot a missile, it uses one of my magic gauges. Here she's saying, "Mommy, you're the best," when you get this done. And I don't think this is amazingly long, but it may be longer than what I would want. Here we have those flying ones that we would normally chainsaw. I'll point out that the joys don't show up as often as a lot of the other characters, but let's face it, there's a decent amount of characters that are kind of sparsely used. That I guess which is right back to the idea of if they hadn't spent the time programming this, which honestly it feels like they were trying to just either make an engine that could run this sort of gameplay or learn how to program this sort of gameplay. Now, evading with the left stick is not helpful in this at all. You've spent the entire game evading with the right stick. Learning something different in the middle of gameplay is not helpful. Let's see. So I just exhausted all of my magic, and it didn't do enough to kill him, which is to probably say you don't want to. You want to go into that fight with as much magic as possible. And that was verse 1. Who's to say how many verses there really are? Now we've got creatures on the ground. Let's see, I'm trying to dodge. And killing these guys is not really working. I'm not doing the best of a job here. And that might explain why I'm having to fight these guys, is because I didn't kill them on the first run of things. But also, it kind of feels like if you can avoid those interactions, the game would just be different for different players. Which I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. This is probably a great game to go look up a speedrun on, come to think of it. What you would want to see is a no glitch speedrun, and probably a 100% speedrun, then maybe compare it with a any percentage speedrun. The difference there being no glitching means they don't cheat in any way to get to the end and skip major parts of the gameplay. Because if you see a glitch speedrun, it might take only 5 minutes to get to the end. 100% means they would intentionally be getting everything done, including the levels that I've missed. And any percent would be that they just are playing the game to finish each chapter, but not doing every side mission. There's 3 of these guys, and I really don't have magic to use them. Again, an interesting little bouncing sound. There's no difference, it seems, from pressing the X button and the Y button. They seem to be completely tied to each other. So we got on this Vigrid missile, turned it around so it was going the other direction, and now the angels are trying everything they could possibly do to stop me from reaching Vigrid. And on easy mode, there is some auto-aiming going on here, most definitely. But I imagine there would be some auto-aiming no matter what, because there is no second button Like, this isn't moving the ship in a different direction than the way the guns go. And which time it's not proving itself to be very useful. It might just be easier to dodge things. And I think there's an achievement for either getting one wave of this done while killing everybody, or the whole thing done without killing anybody. It seems like you have to fly through these parts. Ooh, look at my health. Do I want to use a hot shot, or do I want to use a lollipop? I think I'm gonna have to use a lollipop. So I need to keep a close eye on my health. So, slight question about these angels. Was there just a named enemy that we fought once, and then there's other people like the named enemies that aren't as important? Or is this the same enemy back again? I wouldn't be surprised if they said you can't really kill them. So I'm going to go ahead and use a item. I don't actually know how to use an item. You have to hold down the D-pad. Okay. So I'd like to finish this entire chapter using only one item if I can actually pull that off. You can see my item, while it is helping me get witch time lore, in the end it's not going to help you perfectly. Like, you're still going to need and then my health refilled mostly by itself anyways. So I probably could have made it without using the item. Like, you still need to be good at this game. Even on easy mode. You still need to be moderately good. I will say, with some foreknowledge, it would have been nice if we'd spent a little bit more time in a city like this. I don't know how you could have some great fights with angels in a very compact city. But it might be... It would potentially give us some buildings that go up and down levels and things like that.
Welcome to Isla del Sol. Island of wealth and power. Jean, if you've made it this far, that should be enough. You're back to your old self. This is where we finish what was started so long ago.
A friend of my enemy is also my enemy, be it witch or sage.
The Lumen Sages. They were our counterbalance as overseers. Between us, there was a law that was never to be broken. It stated that the intersection of light and dark would bring calamity to this earth. But 500 years ago, a child was born in clear violation of this tenet. That child was you.
Me?
500 years ago.
So she's old.
The disaster this caused sent the clans into a spiral of chaos that continues to be felt to this day.
And out comes the moon.
You, the half-breed of light and dark, are at the center of that chaos. Allowing you to continue to exist is a danger that cannot be accepted. When the eyes of the world are within our grasp, the power of creation will be awakened. That is why the left eye, our treasured left eye, will never fall into the hands of another. The left eye, our treasured left eye, will never fall into the hands of another. Bayonetta, it is time that this is brought to an end. That you are brought to an end.
You did it.
It is our charge as witches to protect the treasures of the clan by any means necessary, even if it means burning every inch of this island to a crisp.
I just realized Bayonetta has a cat earring, and Joan has like a spider
beginning
web
to hate missiles.
earring.
You know, I have no idea what the hell you girls got going on here. But you don't mind if I take this off your hands, do you? Get in, Cerecita.
Mommy.
Bayonetta, time is of the essence. This can wait no longer.
And then they shoot off without her having the control anyways. So this seems like a slightly odd area, particularly since now I can just put her in the corner and try to beat on her a lot. They could have shot that scene, I think, a little bit better and made it questionable whether she was talking about the little girl or Bayonetta. And that would have only required them both to be next to each other and Jean pushed pointing in one direction or the other. In a general direction in between the two of them. So you take her health down to a certain point, and it starts the next part of the fight. I guess that would have gotten me a mature audiences only rating too. I choose whether I put mature audiences only on the title or not, but yeah, I think that probably would be appropriate in that case. And so we see her in her full Umbrian witch outfit, but she's all in white where Bayonetta's all in black, which doesn't even really make sense, because if she's both white and black, she should be gray, shouldn't she not? Did I just die? I think I just died. Too many scenes like this. And there are times, I think on the harder difficulty, I don't think you get infinite continues or maybe even any continues. So one mistake could end up being the one you needed. And see, you would think that working for the Lumen Sages maybe that turned her white, Maybe before she was in black. Well, we saw her before and she was in red 500 years ago, so she did go from red to pure white in her outfit. It probably doesn't matter too much at all, really. And this is a nice building to be on the side of and look down the glass windows with the waterfall falling down. Close, almost missed that counter. So she's trying to do the demon summoning with her hair techniques on me, which is not going to work that well. Buying all these extra techniques is proving to be helpful. And I'm winning both times, but I'm not sure that you don't always win when you counter. So they are certainly making her out to be almost my equal. Remember, I'm playing on easy. And if you knock her to the edge, she'll switch directions on you. But there's really only two directions she can go. I'm almost done here. Will that mean I have to fight her in one more sequence? Haven't done breakdancing in a while. 30,000 for a boss. I don't think you could change Bayonetta's look, though. I think she has to be in the black hair suit for every game going forward.
So it is.
The fear is still not gone from your eyes.
Fear?
The memories you've held for 500 years are the source of your fear. They cloud your vision. But now, you've accepted your fate. That is how you bested me. That is why you possess the most beloved of Umbran treasures. That is why you possess the left eye.
We fought for this stone, and because of it, everyone died.
That gem brings back so many memories.
That is why the left eye, our treasured left eye, will never fall into the hands of another. I will not stand for the wild ambition of a treacherous Lumen sage who disrupted our age-old balance. Your path ends here! Do not fear your fate. Stand, Cereza.
In the innocence of our childhood.
So we don't know what it says, because that was in a different language.
But as time passed, perhaps even my eyes were clouded with fear. We were. Do not fear your fate.
Maybe that said Jean and Cereza.
Cereza, stand and open your eyes. For with every truth, there is another one to be seen.
So maybe under the witch societies, you can name your daughter after yourself, like a junior. I guess even in normal societies you could do that. It just probably doesn't happen that often.
Hey, is it over?
So that might be
What?
Cereza
It's not like
Jr.
you don't scare the shit out of me all the time.
Cereza. I don't know whether to shoot you or to take you to Vegas for good luck, Cheshire.
Give me more credit than that. If you must know where L-U-K-A Luca is concerned, there's no such thing as luck. Only skill.
What happened here?
You didn't expect me to trust bitches. I mean, witches, did you, Bayonetta?
How's the little one?
Out like a light. But okay other than that. What about you? You really think I'm gonna let myself be seen in public with a girl looking all beat up like that?
Oh. I look dreadful, do I?
Huh?
You'll have to learn to wipe that stupid look off your face, or I'll never let you keep chasing me around this world. Got that? Luca?
She called him by his name.
Now that's more like it.
So you get a sweet ending to this chapter. It's a weird one. However, I died and I used an item, so I believe that means only the award. So I didn't get 5,000 extra halos for no bonuses, and I lost 4,800 bonus on the score. So that would definitely be another part of the game where if I was going to try to play it on a harder difficulty, I'd still probably struggle, and frankly, I think the idea of having a completely unlocked 100% done save file makes a lot of sense to just then, if I want to play it on the most difficult climax difficulty, I can, and I would have all of the items available to me right then and there. I'm just going to go ahead and exchange these for halos. See, we are approaching halfway towards being able to afford the last thing I'd like to purchase. So, let's, I suppose, check out the gates of hell. We'll just go in here for a quick second and see if there's anything new. Again, how could there be any collectibles in that chapter? It's just not likely at all. If there are collectibles, it would have had to been through playing very, very well. And I just imagine I won't ever unlock this because I won't get the collectibles I need. It seems like I might be able to afford one of these other items, but I don't see a real reason to buy any of them. Still need a Bloody Rose Lollipop and a Purple Magic Lollipop. And there's no new treasure things. It feels like maybe 5 of these might just unlock either through beating the game once or beating the game on multiple difficulties. So the story seems to imply that the stone she thinks is the eye of the world probably isn't. What? I would say that some of the story could have been told a little bit better. Could have been written a little bit better, and certainly the gameplay could use a rewrite 2. As much as I love Bayonetta, and I do love it, it is probably my favorite game ever. In the 8 years that have happened since its release, it could do for a reboot. A 10th anniversary, let's just start again. Let's tell the same story, maybe tighten up the story a little bit, maybe put a twist at the end or something like that, so it's not exactly what you're used to, but put a ton more gameplay, more encounters with the angels in particular. Man, I'm having trouble talking. I'm okay with them adding several more platforming sections and several more places to run around, and maybe even several more collectibles where I could get more halos. You really don't need the elements to make concoctions unless you're going to expand the concoctions and give us something else we can craft with them, whether you could craft bullets for the angel attack section or you just craft halos from scratch. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.